Hi guys, how's it going? It's Kim here. Today I'm going to share with you a few things that you can get started and grow really fast if you need to. With everything going on right now, it's a great time to just get out there and start planting, learn something. There's not really a food shortage right now, but who knows what's going to happen. And I'd rather be prepared than scared. I'm in Indiana, and as of Tuesday at midnight, we have a shelter-in-place order. The grocery stores and essential things are still open, but mostly we're just staying home and doing the best we can. Certain things you really have a hard time finding, like produce. So lettuce is one that you really can't find. Tomatoes you're really not finding. There are a few, if you pick the store on the right day that they get a shipment in, then you're possibly going to find those things. But it's going really fast. When we went out the last time to the grocery store, it had been stocked the day before and shelves were empty. So everybody is feeling the pressure that they're not stocked. And everybody is running to the store trying to get stocked because nobody knows what's going to happen. And everything's going to be okay. And we're all going to get back to living life normal. Hopefully not as normal as everybody was living. Maybe this will change some people's mind on growing their own food and being a little more self-sufficient. So if it happens again, which history shows that it does, then you're a little more prepared the next time. Maybe it's just a big wake-up call. But whatever it is, if it can encourage anyone to start growing food, taking a little bit more responsibility for your family and your needs, then I say that's pretty awesome. And in these beds, there is a total different soil type. The darker soil here is compost, and it's really a good soil. The soil back there and in these two beds and some of the other beds over there, those beds are full. It's just a pile of topsoil, basically. It's not bad. It's pretty fluffy, honestly. There's still a few things that I've got to go through and dig out, and I've got my tools here to do that. But the soil is pretty good soil. First off, I'm going to show you a few of the things that you can grow to get something growing quickly. One is bok choy, and it has a 50-day harvest. And this is a superfood. This is really good. You might find stuff you wouldn't really eat, but could end up liking. And then we've got some arugula, and that's a 40-day. After they germinate, which takes, when I planted arugula in the fall, it germinated really fast. Let me see what it says on here about the germination. It doesn't really say. But I believe it took under a week to start germinating, and this stuff grew really, really fast. I also have an all lettuce blend, and that is a 28-day harvest. So in a month, if you get an all lettuce blend, in a month you can have fresh lettuce for salads, for hamburgers, for whatever you need lettuce for. And if you don't have a space to grow it in, you could put this in a pot. Throw some soil, throw some seeds, and you have lettuce. Grow in so many things. You don't have to have raised beds. You don't have to have your garden tilled. If you have even a tote, you can pop some holes in the bottom, fill it with soil, and grow lettuce. And I do have other types of lettuce. The all lettuce blend takes 28 days. Some of these take 50. I think most of these this is 45. That's spinach. 28 days for the freckled romaine. Some are 50 days. The super red romaine. The minuet is 50 days. And the red cell leaf lettuce is 50 days. But there's a couple that only take 28 days. And if you don't know exactly how to read a seed packet, there's lots of good information on the back of a seed packet. You want to start it after the last frost date. We're in Indiana. We're not even in April. We possibly could still get down into the 30s. If you have a chance of frost, go out there and cover stuff up, even if it's just with a sheet. Just cover it up to keep the frost off of it, and you should be fine. But just watch your weather. You can start anything right now as long as you watch the weather. If it's getting cold, cover it up. Just go out there and throw a blanket, a sheet, something over top of it so it doesn't get frost on it. I've got some sugar snap peas. They take 55 days for harvest. These did grow a little slower when I planted them in, I believe it was September last year. It took them a minute to get going. But the bok choy grew really fast. The arugula grew really fast. And then we've got a couple of lettuce blends that take 28 days. So in less than a month, you can have food. Oh, also, radishes. You can roast radishes, but radishes take 23 to 30 days. So in a month, you could have enough stuff for at least a salad. A lot of the seed companies have stopped selling. They're getting overwhelmed. But just the dollar store, if you can go to the dollar store, a lot of their seeds are 4 for $1 or 2 for $1. They work great. I planted some carrots from the dollar store last year, and I got a good amount of carrots, and carrots aren't easy to grow. So their seeds are fine. Just grab something. Tractor Supply, they have seeds. I believe Home Depot has seeds. And the Tractor Supply, their seeds are really good. But the dollar store, they work just fine. If you're at any stage like we are where only essentials are staying open, you may want to go grab some stuff before your state gets into that predicament, because it's probably all of the states are going to do it. It seems like whatever Kentucky does, we're a day behind. So Kentucky is shutting down, I believe, tonight, and then we are shutting down tomorrow night at midnight. That's just kind of what's happening around here. And we also have a strawberry spinach that we're going to plant, and that's 45 to 70 days. And that looks so interesting. I'm super excited about that one. It's from In My Gardener. Super excited. I don't know if anybody's tried it, but it looks really good. And so I'm just going to work up the soil some because, oh, worms. Worms are a good thing. I'm just going to get it worked up. This is still a little wet. We have had a lot of rain, and we've had a lot of rain. So it's pretty well moistened up. In a small space like this, we're going to get quite a bit of harvest out of this just tiny space. We're just going to make a few rows and start getting planting. We're still going to try to make it pretty. So we're going to do green, red, and then the all lettuce blend will be in that back bed with the arugula and the bok choy. Just going to make a little trench, just a tiny trench. These are pretty little seeds, so you don't need to just cover them up just a tad. And we're just going to pop them in. They're very small, so it's kind of hard to get them placed just right. And then we're just going to cover that up. Lightly cover it up. Second bed, I went and looked at my garden plan. So there's going to be an arch on the second bed here, and that's where my cucumbers are going to grow. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do a block of the all lettuce blend, because it will be the first one that will be harvestable. So I'm going to do a block of the all lettuce blend. I'm going to do another block of arugula because it is really fast growing as well. And then on the end, I'm going to put a few bok choy, and then give room for the cucumbers to grow over the arch on the far side. But that still gives me quite a bit of room for those three things. Okay, so over here, this is where the arch is going to go, and the cucumbers are going to probably go right about here. So I'm going to start in this little area here, and I'm going to plant the all lettuce blend. And these seeds I got at Tractor Supply, and like I said earlier, Tractor Supply has really good seeds. I've never had a problem with anything germinating. It germinates really well, actually. So what I'm going to do here is just in this square area, I'm just going to plant seeds. And I'm just going to toss them in. And then I'm just going to lightly cover them back up. I'm not building a trench. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just putting it in the ground and covering it up. That was all the seeds. And then I'm just going to cover it up. Okay, and so the next little square area, right about like this much, about like right here to right here. And I had a really good harvest of arugula in the fall. I started it in September. I grew it almost all winter. I did grow some lettuce and spinach all winter. But funny thing about that is, a week before all this happened, before anybody really heard about the coronavirus, I pulled my lettuce up and was ready to move because it's in the back, and I was ready to move the beds up closer. And I pulled all my lettuce up. It was probably getting towards the end of its grow life. I mean, it was getting pretty towards the end. But I could have let it go a little longer. Had I known what was going on, I would not have at all pulled that up. All right, so the arugula is planted. I'm just kind of concerned about the lettuce situation because we just can't find any. And bok choy. I think the bok choy was the fastest growing when I planted it in the fall. I'm going to try to not waste these seeds. So I am going to... Bok choy gets quite big. So I think I'm just going to do, 2 rows of bok choy. And it literally might just be 3 seeds. Because bok choy gets really big. Maybe I'll put some over here. Put some right here. So that'll give us 4. Probably don't need more than that. It's really good. It's a superfood. It will release all toxins. And we just use it saute it in some noodles and stuff, and it's really good. And in this bed, we are going to start the snap peas. Now, they did take a little while to grow last year, but they did fine. And these are a little bigger, so I think what I did last time is I didn't plant enough. I could have planted quite a bit more. So I'm going to put 2 seeds in each hole, cover that up, and they can go pretty close together. And I had no problem with them trailing on this trellis. They did just fine. And now we're going to plant radishes. I'm not exactly sure if I was going to plant radishes in the garden this year, but they do grow fast, so we're going to throw some in. So we're going to make a little trench, and we're making 5 rows, and we're just going to put seeds in. And you can space these out pretty well. They're pretty decent sized seeds. And then we're just going to cover them up lightly. So I'm going to go over what we've planted. So we planted an all lettuce blend that takes 28 days to germinate. We planted radishes, which take 23 to 30 days to germinate. The sugar snap peas, 55 days. All the other lettuce blends that we planted were 50 days, so that's roughly a month and a half, give or take. And we also planted the arugula and the bok choy, which grew extremely fast. It grew faster than my lettuce did. Now you start your harvest date after they get up and they're germinated. So if it takes 2 weeks to germinate and then it says another 30 days, 40 days to harvest, you count that after they are up and germinated. So I gave you a few different ideas of things that you can grow that you can be having to eat on in a month. I believe that was 7 different foods that we popped in the ground that we will have in a month to a month and a half growing, that we can eat and make salads. So that's pretty good. You can grow so much in a very tiny space. Use your imagination. If you have a pot, fill it up and put something in it. Have a lot of fun doing it and watching it grow. And then knowing that you're gonna have some food growing in a month. When you might not be able to find lettuce at the store, you'll have it outside. This video, I hope it gives you a little encouragement to get out there and just plant something. And until next time, bye guys.